Do you know what today is? It is Taco Tuesday, and today we're going to be creating some signature dishes to go with Taco Tuesday. Salmon tacos, signature guacamole, a nice salsa, and some Mexican street tostadas. Are you ready to create your signature taste? Okay, so we're going to go ahead and start with our signature salsa. Now, there are a few different ways to do it, but what I have here is a nice skillet I'm letting get hot. I have some tomatoes that I've already cut in halves. We're going to place it down. What we want is a nice char because that's how we increase our flavors. I'm going to put all those down. Do you hear that sizzle? Load them up, load them up. Now you can use whatever kind of tomato you like. What I have is Roma tomatoes. It actually carries over very beautifully. I have some onions that I went ahead and peeled and just cut in half. I'm going to put those down in there too. We want everything to get some color. And I have a jalapeno. Now, I like spice, but if you don't like that much spice, when you cut it, remove the veins and the seeds. That's where all the heat is. I'm actually going to leave it because I want the spice. Cut off the stem. As a matter of fact, I want one more. So we're going to keep things light today with a nice salmon taco with a lot of good, interesting flavors. But the salmon is going to be nice and flaky, going to corn tortilla, and we got a couple toppings that we're going to go ahead and make. So I'm going to grab my tongs and see how my tomatoes are doing. So I put those in there first. And you want to let them go until they get a little bit of color on it. So you're going to be flipping them a little bit because you want them to get tender. Once we get some color on this, we're going to go ahead and put it in the blender, but we're not going to be done just yet. There we go. It's coming. Over this, a nice little toss. So I'm going to let this go ahead and cook down and get some color on it. And I'm going to grab my salmon. So once this is done, I'm going to blend this up. But in the meantime, I'll be right back and I'm going to go and collect all of my stuff. I'll see you in a minute. Okay, so now I have a nice char on all my vegetables, and I'm going to add them to my blender. Now, don't get rid of this pan just yet, because we still got some cooking to do. And leave all the bits and everything right in here. You can smell the peppers. The tomatoes are nice and tender with a nice char on it. We are going to develop some great flavors, and this is going to be great. You can have this with some chips or your tacos. If you have some chicken, you can put it on that. I know that I do. It's however you want. All right, so blend this really quickly. All right, so I blended it. What I have here is some extra virgin olive oil. Put that in the bottom of the same skillet. I want all the drippings and everything. Nice little amount. You take our blended salsa. Be careful because it's hot. Blade. There we go. Let that cook on in there. We'll get this out of the way. Add a little bit of garlic. Let that cook now. Let me get a spoon. And get all the bits from the bottom because that's where all the flavor is. Mix it around. Now you know we gotta season it. So here's some pepper, some salt, and here is my secret ingredient. I have here a little bit of water, and I have here some chicken base. Now if you add chicken stock, you can add that as well. Nice little amount. I have my cute little blender because you know I don't like lumps. Mix, mix, mix. You can use vegetable broth, you can use water. Depends on you. We're gonna pour that in there. Give this a nice stir. And we're gonna let this cook down. Now, while that is cooking down, let me clean up my area. I have some salmon here, right? So there is no skin on the salmon at all, and I cut it into a few pieces. We're gonna add some seasonings. So what I have here is some chipotle powder. Give it a nice little sprinkle. Some garlic powder. Some smoked paprika, my favorite. Some cumin. We're gonna do some salt. And some pepper. Now, the only way your seasoning is really gonna adhere to your salmon is if you make sure it is completely dry before you season it. If your salmon is wet, your seasoning is gonna slide right off. So all this hard work is gonna go in vain. So, I'm gonna go ahead and season the other side of my salmon. Get this sauce and put it to the side to let the seasonings continue to marry. And when I come back, we're gonna go ahead and sear our salmon. Alright, so I went ahead and I blended the salsa, and I have that cooling sitting to the side. I have our seasoned salmon here, and I have our skillet. Put a little extra virgin olive oil in the bottom. Okay. And now we're going to add our salmon. Here we go. Load it in here. And let it go. And we have all the seasonings and everything on it. So we're gonna sear it so it gets a nice crust on both sides, but it's gonna be nice and juicy on the inside. And then I'll show you how we'll break it up to make our salmon tacos. Let me clean up my area. Here we go. Get rid of that. Clean this up. Now, traditionally, you can do any kind of taco you want for Taco Tuesday. For me, I like to think outside of the box. I would use these same seasonings on shrimp. I would do chicken. And if I did like a ground beef or something like that, I would actually kind of put some carrots and stuff in there and let it cook down a little bit. I would take a tomato, mash it, so then it can actually make like a nice hearty like sauce to carry over, so your juice and everything is not so runny. So we can hear our salmon bubbling. We're gonna let that go. And I got these cute little taco holders. So as I get ready to set each taco up with all of the fixings and everything, it'll hold nicely in here. Set it up so you can grab and go. You can smell that now. Get my tongs. Let this go a little bit. A nice color on it. If your salmon breaks, don't worry about it, because you're going to end up breaking it anyway. for your tacos. There we go. Nice flips. I can just get this one going, right? There we go, I got it. So, we're gonna let our salmon cook. Now, what goes best with Taco Tuesday? You know what I think? Signature guacamole. I'm gonna grab my stuff. We'll be right back. We're gonna let this salmon cook. I'm gonna grab that signature guacamole coming up. All right, so we took our salmon and just set it to the side because now it's time for our signature guacamole. So I have some avocados here, and I'm gonna scoop the rest of these out. Okay. All right, and I have some red onions, some jalapenos, some diced and seeded tomatoes, some cilantro, and some lime. So before I get started, I'm gonna put a little salt in here. My trusty potato masher, and I'm gonna mash. Get it really, really good. There you go. Now I'm not gonna make it too smooth. I'm gonna leave a few chunks in it because I like my guacamole with some texture. Speaking of texture, I'm gonna add a few red onions, some jalapenos. Remember, if you don't like the heat, when you cut it, remove the seeds and the veins. I love the heat, so I didn't do any of that. Some of my diced and seeded tomatoes. We don't want the tomatoes with all the seeds in it because it adds too much moisture and it waters down our guacamole, right? Have some limes. Squeeze a few of them in here. Some salt. Some pepper. And now, my secret recipe, some regular salsa verde. Pour that right over. That's where we get all that extra flavor from. Give this a nice stir. Ooh, you can smell all of it now. All right, I'm gonna give this a little taste. I cannot wait to add this to my salmon tacos. We have our signature guacamole. Our salmon is already cooked. All we have to do is assemble our tacos. We have our salsa chilling over there. Now we have a couple more things. How about our Mexican street corn tostadas? I'm gonna grab that, put this away, and I'll be right back. All right, so we did our signature guacamole. We have our salsa dressing and our salmon dressing. Here we go with our Mexican street corn tostadas. What I have here is a 15-ounce can of drained corn. I have a half a cup of mayo, some chili powder, some cojito cheese, some red onion, some cilantro, and a couple more limes. There we go. We'll do one more. Give this a nice mix. You can smell the cilantro and the chili powder and the lime and everything just coming together. So normally you would have this elote in a cup or on a stick. But what we decided to do was make a nice little tostada out of it to carry it over. So I got this nice and mixed. Get us a quick taste. Perfect. Okay. Then I took a 15-ounce can of refried beans. I nuked them in the microwave for 2 minutes, right? So it's nice and warm. And we're gonna take it and we're gonna spread it nice and even. Now we take our corn mixture and top each one of our tostadas. I just love Taco Tuesday. Add a little bit more here. Okay, we got that going. We're gonna finish this off with some more Mojito cheese. And a little bit of our chili powder, just a little pinch. A couple leaves of cilantro, make it look pretty. All right, now that is the easiest recipe to carry over a signature Taco Tuesday. But what is Taco Tuesday without pineapple mojitos? I'll be right back. All right, so now it's time to wrap everything up with our signature pineapple mojitos. I have some fresh mint here, and I'm gonna put it in the bottom of my carafe. Take a couple, bring the sugar over. All right, a couple teaspoons of sugar. I got my friends coming over, so you know I gotta make a lot of this. All right. I have some rum. Some pineapple juice. A little bit of club soda. And I have some pineapples that I put into some chunks. Oh, it smells great already. Take my wooden smooth. Press it all around. With a nice little stir, it smells great. Have my 2 jars here. Slices of pineapple. I already have ice in it. Another little stir. For you. And for you. Some more mint. Some more pineapple. Cut up some more for this one. And there we have it. Super easy. Let's see how good it tastes. Woo! Taco Tuesday is about to be on. All right, I'm gonna clean this up. We're gonna go ahead and bring our whole meal together. All right, I'll be right back. All right, now let's bring our Taco Tuesday together. So I took the salmon that I seared and I just used a little fork and mashed it up. Some nice pieces. We're gonna build our taco. Aren't this little taco holders cute? Just fix it and go. Now we have so many options that we can put on our tacos. You have this homemade salsa that you made. You have your signature guacamole. If you wanted to, you could even put some of that Mexican street corn on it. I have a little bit of romaine. Just cut up a couple pieces. Fill it up. A few red onions. A couple jalapenos. Couple tomatoes, and I have some Chihuahua cheese. I'm gonna add a couple pieces. It's gonna be so good. I think I'm gonna get more on the table than I am on the actual food. And I'm gonna top it off with our homemade salsa. Oh my goodness gracious. And let's not forget the crema. All right, so here we have it, our signature Taco Tuesday, our pineapple mojitos, our Mexican street corn tostadas, our signature guacamole, our fantastic homemade salsa, and salmon tacos. I don't know about you, but I'm getting ready to enjoy Taco Tuesday. And when you do your Taco Tuesday, don't forget to add your signature taste. Bye.